Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Rhona, James. Good to see both of you this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever
All
you
right,
might be.
you need more excitement, James. I need high octane, James, today.
Are you ready to recruit? I don't know. I got. Where are we going? Where are we going with this?
Well, welcome everybody to the HR Morning Show. We are excited to be here with you. This is the number one spot. That means everybody is below us. I just want to make that absolutely clear. This is the number one spot for all of your HR news all morning. Just kidding. It's not all morning, but we're definitely number one. Appreciate all of you guys. If you're out there, this is a live show. So this isn't recorded, and I am not AI. James may be AI, but I am not AI. But Rona and I are both authentic humans. So we're here, we're live, and that means though I want you guys to get in the chat, say hi to us. Get in there, tell us what your thoughts are about what we're talking about. We want to make this engaging. And for any of you guys that don't know us, you got to go to purpleacornnetwork.com. Give us a follow, like, subscribe. We're trying to get to 2,000 followers on LinkedIn, please. So, yeah, I'm asking for you guys to follow us so you can stay in live with the content. I know I've made fun of James a couple times. I am just totally kidding. James, welcome to the show. Why don't you give everybody an intro on who you are and what you do for anyone who doesn't know you?
I am James Ellis. I'm the guy that Joel makes fun of, apparently. This is news to at least one of us. I'm just pointing that out. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Look, I'm friends with Rona and friends with Joel, so I'm thrilled to be here. I'm excited to kind of hang out with y'all for the next hour or two, three. I don't know how long. We said all morning, so
All morning.
my day is booked. It is this, and I'm ready to rock. But I hate saying I'm the CEO of a one-person business. It sounds like I'm trying to like impress people, and I'm like,
Founder.
yeah, sure. No, I'm just that guy who does employer branding is really what it's about. So my company's called Employer Brand Labs. I focus on helping companies under 2,000 people actually take advantage of their employer brand in a way that's affordable and effective.
I love that. How long have you been doing employer branding too, James? Just to give
As a
them context.
concept, coming on a dozen years. As a business, just about to hit 3.
Amazing. Well, welcome to the show.
Thrilled to be
Rona, good to see you this morning. How are you doing?
I am doing great. It's early for me, but I'm doing great.
That is great. I love that. Well, we're excited. And look, Brian Fink. Oh, Brian is in the house. Brian, we love
always
to
ready to
see you.
rock. He is always ready to grind.
I get texts from Brian like quite regularly, and I just want to shout you out, Brian. Like, you are one of the most consistent people with like checking in. Like, I'm pretty consistent with that stuff, I feel like, but you take it to a new level in the right way. So we love that. Let us know who's else is out there. Just say hi. We don't want to we don't want to feel like we're talking into a vacuum. So let us know who is out there. Why don't we move on to our headline for the day this morning? Brian again there, back from the islands. I love it. All right. So we have the DOL unveils new opinion letter program to simplify labor law compliance for employees. Okay. Okay. Cut off. I love that. Rhoda, what are your thoughts of this? Like, I'm gonna default to you guys on this. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Rhoda, what is going on here? What does this mean? What do people need to know?
I think what this means is that the Department of Labor is now having a way for employers and I guess employees as well, because I think anyone can request an opinion letter. So if you need help interpreting the very complex employment laws that exist here, and they have different like categories of things you can request letters for. Then they have the steps there. You can go and request it. I think it's a good thing. I'm sure some people, um, probably me, should like lean on things like this. I typically just go on LinkedIn and ask people, like I did yesterday with one thing. It's like, hey, I have this question about employment law. Who knows the answer? But yeah, this is like an official way to get help interpreting things from the law.
Do you think it's just like an AI chatbot?
Hopefully not.
Look, given how long it took to get this set up, how long is it going to get before they get an AI bot set up for it? That's you got at least a
That
couple
is
of years.
true. That is true. What are your thoughts on this, James? Good, bad, or what do you think?
It's all good, but it's just further proof that everything is way more complicated than it needs to be. Because for as much as they'll say things like, "Oh, here is guidance," which is helpful, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to win in court when it really counts, right? Ultimately, it's who your lawyer is, it's who their lawyer is, it's who the judge is, it's the circumstances of the case. There's so much gray area and fuzzy area that some guidance is nice, but it doesn't replace in-house counsel that actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, now our friend Keith Sonderling, he said opinion letters are an important tool in ensuring workers and businesses alike have access to clear and practical guidance. So, yeah, I mean, it obviously helps, but it's like anything. Like it's an opinion, it's a point of view, right? So I actually like your strategy, Rona, just to say, like, I think getting advice from other people and like getting different perspectives on things can be helpful as well. So
As long as you ask the right people, though, you can't just
exactly,
rely on your
a
LinkedIn
LinkedIn poll.
Are you not using
poll.
4chan for all your HR questions? That 4chan would be perfect for that. You get great answers, or Yahoo Answers, either way.
Yeah, I mean, Yahoo Answers never left anyone in a bad place. But it says that the programs involving the wage and hour division, occupational safety and health administration, OSHA, employee benefits security administration, veterans employee and training service, mine safety and health administration. It's a lot. That is a lot. Is it any wonder like HR people are really just kind of tasked with so much stuff? It's crazy.
Meanwhile, you've named all these industries that are trying to gut regulations as fast as they humanly possibly can. So it's like you get this weird kind of tectonic shifts of, okay, this part of the government says less regulation. This part of the government's tasked with, suing people into the ground for doing the wrong things, and none of it adds up. It's still regardless of opinion letters and making that streamlined. Is it ever going to be easy? I would not expect it to be.
I think it's by design.
Complex by design.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's meant to be easy. I mean, there's so many that's why people go to law school and stuff like that. There's so many, like, different things that can happen, so many different, like, "Oh, what about this? What about this?" It's not this easy
No.
thing that everyone's supposed to be like, "Yay."
Yeah, I always think of like it's like the financial world, right? And it's like it's so complicated, but it's just complicated to make it so everybody just can't understand it. So only a select few people can get really rich. It's just I feel like there's a lot like that.
I'm glad we started with a banger, like
Yeah.
Department of Labor opinion laws, and this is how you kind of just bring in the power to this kind of show.
That's right. HR morning show. We're getting hot.
Boom.
Department of Labor. Everyone's like, yes, I love hearing about that. But let us know in the chat. Like, is this something that you think will be helpful? Is this good, bad? What are you guys thinking? Let us know. And maybe we can move on to one of my favorite segments, the event roundup. Let's see what's going on. You like that? You like that voice?
This whole recruiting thing is just a show to get your voiceover career started. I understand.
The event roundup.
In a world where recruiting has gone mad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we got a great event. It's today. I mean, we've been talking about this. We have the Smart Recruiters event is today. This is the launch that is going to redefine hiring. We got some amazing updates, which I'm sure we're going to hear more about in one of my favorite segments coming up as well. But if you haven't registered, you need to register today. And do we have a QR code that people can join in? Do we have one? Paging QR code. It's probably not a QR code. We can put a link in the chat. But definitely want to be a part of this. This is a huge deal. We're obviously great. Got a great relationship with Smart Recruiters, and we know they are doing amazing things with AI and Winston. So we'll hear more about that. But you are not going to want to miss this launch. So get involved. There it is. We have our QR code. See how that works? I have a voice. People listen. I love that. So scan that QR code. Get in there. I love that it's virtual as well. That does help. Obviously, keeps everything really, really accessible for us. So if you haven't signed up, it's not too late. Go scan the QR code, see what Smart Recruiters is working on. What do we have next? All right, Rhona, you going to be here? Are you going to be in San Diego? Tell us about this event.
Yes, I am going to be in San Diego. SHRM 2025. It's at the end of this month, and they've made a main stage speaker announcement. Jason Sudeikis is going to be there, and what's it,
No,
conversation that matters.
he might be there, right?
Yeah, he
There's a
might be
chance
there.
He's scheduled.
He's scheduled to be there. They've made the announcement. Hopefully, he will be there. Yeah, I'll be there with a few of the Purple Acorn folks, and it's going to be a great event.
Amazing, amazing. I love that. San Diego sounds amazing. San
Yeah.
Diego again, James. What else do we have?
Oh, I got ERE Recruiting Innovation Summit coming in. I mean, honestly, if you're going to be in San Diego, November is not the worst time to show up. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Good on ERE for banging the drum and continuing to build great events and kind of getting the word out. So it's tough. It's tough to compete with a lot of great events there, but I think they're doing a great job.
Yeah, I was just at ERE a few months ago. It was good. It was great. It's good connecting with people, right? I think we were talking about this a little bit behind the closed doors. One of the best things about event, yeah, the speakers, the keynotes, great. No, we're what makes the events great. Okay, the people. Okay, the people. We make the events great. I'm just totally kidding, but
Joel is writing his manifesto as we speak. That's going to be interesting.
It's gonna be called Events Are People.
Okay.
All right, I'm getting crazy, but
It's not Soylent Green. It's events.
Events, exactly. Well, yeah, we're excited about this one. San Diego, November 4th and 5th. So if you haven't signed up, you need to get there. Let us know in the chat. Are there any of these events that you're going to be at? Would love to know who's going to what. And even if there's some events that we're missing as well, we would love to hear that. So let us know in the chat where you are going to be. But all of those are great events. So when we move on to our next segment here, one of my favorites. What is it? We're anticipating something.
Silence is your favorite section. Silence.
It's everyone's favorite section for me.
Everybody's quiet for just a minute.
All right. All right. Lynn, it's been too long.
Yeah, I know. It's been like, right. Because I popped on this and John was on the thing yesterday, last, right? Like, I don't know who's going to show up. I'm happy.
You never know. I think it was Serge last week, and then John maybe the week before. So, I think we should, instead of saying all in for AI, I think it should just be a Lynn for AI.
Okay, so this is interesting that you say that because I'm actually thinking that's a new hashtag. Maybe
I think it should be because I think Serge mentioned it last week. When it comes to the AI content, you definitely put out a lot of the really thought-provoking content, just things that you're thinking and then things that we should be thinking about. So huge shout out to you. Tell us about the event, though. It's today, 11 a.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Central time.
So it's on top of the hour, guys. We are moments away. You can roll right off of the Purple Acorn Show into.
I love that.
Into our simulcast, live simulcast, and it's going to be awesome. It is a full production product launch, and if you want to see both what we built, why we built it, live demos,
come on,
real customers talking about it, this is where you're going to find out, and it is going to be huge. It's going to be huge, and it's going to work. It absolutely is going to work. I'm not at all in a panic zone for everything to happen correctly.
How long has this been in the works for? Like how long have you been working on this for?
I'm going to tell you a little secret, Joel. So we were not supposed to launch this early. We made a decision a little over 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
To go big because we were ready early, and we were getting a lot of demand from the market. So we decided to escalate and to go faster, and to produce everything that we needed to do to go live and go to market as quickly as we are. So why not? Why not pull off a live full production go to market product launch in 2 weeks? I think it's fine.
I think it's amazing. I
Can
think
go
it
wrong. It'll be good.
it is amazing. How many, so we got hundreds of people, thousands of people registered, ready to go. Excitement is building. What are some of the big things that people can,
Yeah,
um,
here's the
expect?
big things. Yeah, here's the big things I think you need to be paying attention to. So you're going to see a couple of things. One, Smart OS, and I think Smart OS doesn't get enough attention sometimes because it's not. It's like the back engine room, right? That makes everything work. It allows all of these fancy AI components, which we're also going to talk about, which all the Winston pieces work. I think what's really interesting, what we're getting a lot of market pickup on, is the AI control center and the ability to actually um, manage and determine how you're going to be using AI across roles, across departments, across groups, across different settings. It provides a lot of flexibility in that, which is really important for a global company and for a lot of our global enterprises who have a lot of different regulations they have to navigate around. The second thing I think is going to be really fascinating is obviously you're going to see kind of end-to-end AI support that talks about how candidates are supported with AI, how
Mm,
recruiters will be supported with AI, but also, and I've been teasing this for a while, Winston Companion, which is really about the hiring manager experience and helping support hiring managers through the process, which I think is unique. It's not out there in the market at scale, and I think it's going to be something that's going to help really move the dial on how hiring happens. It's huge. And then what I'm going to tell everybody is don't, after you see all the demos, at the end, there is a wonderful launch moment, and it is global, and it is, hint, hint, Times Square. Um, Big
I've
things
heard of
happen.
it.
So,
I love
yeah.
it. I love it. And this is open to everybody, right? You don't have to.
Anybody, come anybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like literally my mom's gonna be watching,
Yes! I
right?
love that. I love that. Well, this is why I think it's important too, because I think with product launches and just understanding even what's going on, it's like even if you're not customer or,
Listen,
you gotta go to events like this to see what is actually going on and open your mind, you know?
and that's one of the reasons that we're doing it this way is purposeful. What we want, we know that. Listen, we know this isn't about just selling the product and come in and see what we're doing so you can come and buy it. Obviously, that'd be great. Come and do that. So I mean, I am responsible for helping us sell some stuff, but at the end of the day, it's also about helping propel the conversation further, getting people to understand what's possible. We've been doing a lot of talking in this industry for the last
A lot.
a lot, right?
Yeah.
About AI, about the evolution of what it means to connect people to work, how processes and roles need to adapt and shift and change. I think this is starting the tip of the iceberg of opening up it to everybody to start having a conversation, not just about what we could do, but what we are doing as an
Huge.
industry, and then discuss what that means to us, right? Technology is a really good Kickstarter for transforming how we hire. But it doesn't happen in isolation. It's going to have to go along with a lot of reimagining of what hiring is as a whole.
Yeah, I love that. I think to your point, there has been a lot of talk and not always practical use cases, or there isn't always that, like you said, that reimagining and going back, and I think then, people can go to these events. If it is a lot of talk and they're not walking away with a lot, it isn't helpful, and then sometimes they close their mind to it. So it has kinda happened. I feel like there's been a lot of talk, and then, people can get skeptical as well about things. So, I love events like this, though, where you're able to launch something new, you're able to work as a team, you're talking about existing clients, what the future is, what things are gonna look like from, a massive data set as well.
Right. And how does that translate into how you actually start thinking about embedding this into your processes, right? So, like I said, we're going to show you. We're going to show you an AI control center. We're going to show you. Interaction conversational AI that's built off of LLMs and integrated into into your systems. That's great. It's great tech. I mean, listen, it's beautiful tech. But it's only as good as how you can imagine actually implementing in your organization. So we're going to hopefully tee up some ideas there and get people thinking.
What has obviously you working with current clients, you're looking at a lot of different processes, reimagining processes. Have you seen a consistent challenge to this that you found with clients, prospects, people you're dealing with? Like, do you see like a consistent kind of challenge that people are facing when it comes to this, and what's something people need to kind of just watch out with their own behavior when it comes to really implementing AI in the right way?
So I think there are two challenges that we're seeing. One, so much of the early versions of AI that people started thinking about putting in place were point solutions, and the challenge with that is that they weren't actually connected to strong data sets, and so the outputs didn't give them what they had hoped they were going to see. So we're seeing the second stream or second wave now of companies who are saying, okay, I tried AI. It didn't really work the way I thought it was going to work. I don't know if I could get the change management, the buy-in, my organization's buy-in, my team's buy-in to go and try this next wave. So there's a little angst there. And I think that's what we're seeing some of that transparently, right? I think the second thing that we're seeing, that I'm seeing with companies that I'm working with is it's hard for us as a talent acquisition recruiter based workforce to have that honest conversation that says we may have to shift where we show up in the work.
Change.
Change, right? Like I said something on stage just last week, and I was surprised by how shocking it felt to people. So I'm going to say it even more to everybody. TA doesn't own hiring.
Oh,
We own
that's a spicy one there.
It's hot take. We own supporting it, and we own helping businesses get people into space, but we don't own hiring. And I think as new technology comes in place, there's a little bit of give and take here, right? It's a little anxious, right? This is a different conversation. Is my role going to go away? It's what am I in charge of, which is different. So yeah, there we go. Little existential crisis for us on a Tuesday morning, Joel.
Well, it's professional identity, right? And it's hard if your professional identity is rooted in something for a long time. And it's hard to not feel attacked sometimes with AI. I've been thinking about this a lot, even as a content creator. Like, I'm constantly faced now with, in 2 years, everything is going to be AI content, and I'm like, what does that mean for me? It's like that's kind of scary.
Right.
I was like, that was my fallback. If when recruiting gets taken, now you're telling me content creation's getting taken.
Yeah.
But I think if we keep in mind, like, we're all kind of in that boat, right? It's work is evolving. It's not just talent acquisition. It's not just HR. It's not just sales. It's across the board.
I think that's a really important point. We have to remember it's not just about us. It's happening everywhere. It's happening to all sorts of types of work, not just work, just experiences in general. Our consumer experiences are changing. Our life experiences are changing. It is going to have a big shift. We're just going to have to ride that wave because there's no other choice. It's not going to go away. It's kind of my operating conversation. I tell you, you can continue to be an ostrich and put your head in the sand and be afraid. And I get it. The fear is natural, but it's not going to go away. So you either figure out how to watch it and live in our own existential dread and crisis and make it and figure out the next thing. That's what we're all going to do, right? We're going to see what comes. We're going to adjust. We're going to adapt. And, we've always all done this, by the way. This is just happening faster than maybe we're used to, but it's a normal occurrence for people and for the world, for things to adjust and shift around us. Maybe I'm really old, right? But I still remember like it was yesterday. I remember taking my daughter, she's 17 now, to Blockbuster to go and pick out our DVD, right, for the weekend. It was like it was like and it wasn't just
fun. I love that event. It was like one of my favorite things to do.
And it was part of our life. It was how we bonded and how we connected and what we did, right?
Yeah.
We don't even think about that today, and we have new ways to connect and and to do so. Now we stream and we have 50 different streaming platforms, and it's just how things are. We adapted, we adjusted. We will all do that as we're going to this next space as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
it's
have
so
learned,
funny though. I used to love walking around Blockbuster and like
right?
Family Video, like looking at stuff.
Yeah.
And now like I found myself looking on Netflix for like 2 hours to find nothing to watch, and I go, that's just how I spent my time. Like I can't even make a decision.
Right. Now I can't make a decision, and you're even getting decision support there, right? So that just tells us how this is going to go, right? We just go, well, do I trust it? I don't know. It doesn't really understand me. Somebody was messing around with my algorithm. The kids were they didn't use. You're supposed to separate out the channels. They didn't go to theirs, and so now they've watched. Like I'm getting, a whole bunch
Yeah,
of
my algorithm's messed up. That's what
algorithms all messed up, right? I do not need
for
to see some more SpongeBob. I don't know why it's showing up for me, but now
for us in our house it's just all bluey. But look, I love this. I love your content. Love the way that you think about AI. So I highly encourage anyone, if you're not following Lynn, LinkedIn top voice, but I mean you're putting content out everywhere. I watch your TikToks, and I think if you want just like refreshing perspectives, go follow Lynn. And then if you want to go to the Smarter Recruiters event, it's right on the top of the hour, right after this. Scan that QR
yes,
code. It's free. You know, even if you just go in there to learn and just see what other people are doing, that is one of the greatest things that you can do. It's one of the best things you can do in this time, is to collaborate and understand where other people are and get involved in the conversation. It's a big step in the right direction. So highly encourage everybody to get in there if you haven't registered. And thank you to Lynn and Smart Recruiters as well. We love this segment and we appreciate you.
love it. Appreciate you guys as well. And I'm going to do one last little call out while you're
Yes.
watching it and you're all oohing and eyeing of the fabulous production. I want you all to know that was Elena Valentine and Abby Cheeseman of
Oh,
Skill Scout. They have done an amazing job on this production.
amazing
So,
work.
guys, amazing stuff. And yeah, we'll see you in a half an hour, everybody.
All right. See you. Bye, Lynn.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Tammy, welcome to the HR Morning Show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So, can you tell us a bit about who you are and what you do best?
Yeah, so I'm the Vice President of Research and Insights at Aspect 43. We're an analyst and advisory firm. But prior to that, I was a HR professional for almost 20 years. And then in the midst of all that, I went back and got my law degree in labor and employment law for fun.
For fun. Very,
Yeah,
very
it was
cool.
so fun.
Very cool. So, you're doing a lot of research and everything there at Aspect. And can you walk us through really what companies are focused on right now and like how that's impacting HR tech?
Absolutely. So, we've been doing this research around Aspect 43 for about 15 years now. And up until last year, the top two concerns of companies were always recruiting or hiring and retention. So it was recruiting and retention. They would flip flop back and forth, but those were always the top two. Last year, and this trend is holding this year, cost savings and increasing sales leapfrogged both of those into the number one and number two spot. So we really saw that shift in company concerns move to a bit of a different priority, and that's holding steady for this year too. And in addition to that, we've seen about 60% of leaders are focused on improving efficiency, and 52% of organizations cite cost savings as their number one concern. And so this is really affecting and influencing their HR tech strategy. Tools aren't just being evaluated for automation anymore. They're being measured by how well they support these business outcomes like retention, productivity, performance. And this is also why improving the employee experience ranks as a top tech goal for over 70% of the companies. It's not just about engagement, it's about keeping people longer and getting more value from the workforce that they have.
What what does this mean for HR tech companies as far as how they're going about marketing and just building product?
Absolutely. So it can't just be about function and features. That's not going to sell your products anymore. So what it really means is that we've got to show the value, and it's not so much even just the ROI. It's more along the lines of how is it helping to streamline processes? How is it helping to save time, solve actual problems that businesses are having? And how is it improving that employee experience?
Is AI playing a big role in what people are looking for as far as like HR executives and HR teams?
So AI is everywhere, obviously. I will say it is more in the market than it is in the practice. And that's something that we need to close that gap. And the way we close that gap is a couple of different things. Number one, what we found in our research was that about 45% of companies, the reason they haven't done anything with AI yet is they just really don't know what to do with it. It's gotten all bunched into one big AI bubble, and they don't even know that they're already using it in some cases. And so they want to get started with it, but they just really don't know where to start or what to do. And so we've got to quit kind of throwing the AI marquee up everywhere and really talk about how does this solve problems. And I'm a compliance person. Compliance is my love language. So like we've always got to talk about how do we use this in a way that is comfortable for them, that is safe and secure, that doesn't make them all concerned about privacy and security, and is in a low risk way to get them used to it and to get them to understand it better.
Do you see HR tech companies moving in the direction of providing that information, or are we still just talking about features?
We see both. The companies that are more successful and that have been doing AI longer are explaining that. They're explaining that this isn't new to them, that this has already been in use. They're explaining how it's been used and helping to provide some of that market education. All the analysts, we're all trying to do the same thing, and just speak on and write on and provide research and resources on how to alleviate some of those concerns and fears by making it super accessible and a lot more comfortable.
So I wanna shift gears a little bit and talk about hiring because yes, it might not be one of the top concerns, for companies, but I still think, it's happening, it's gonna continue happening, it's really never gonna stop, it might slow down, but not stop, and I think now it's still a challenge, but, like, not in the same way that it's has been a few years ago, like, what has changed as far as what's making hiring challenging right now?
Absolutely. It is different than it was. And the problems are different, the challenges are different, and so the solutions have to be different as well. And I think that is something that TA vendors need to really pay attention to. I was speaking at TA Tech North America last week and did a presentation on this. That the pressure shifted a few years ago. It really was about volume. We need to get the word out. We need more people. We need more applicants. We need to get people in the door. They don't need that. Now it's about alignment. And it's whenever we look at our research, we hear a lot of buzz around vendors about how, oh, we're helping deal with, they've got too many applicants or they need more applicants. We're not seeing that that's the problem that our research shows. What our research shows is that 50% of companies are struggling with salary expectations, and 40% say they can't find qualified candidates. And based on what we've seen, we don't think it's that they're not there. They're not missing, they're being missed. So we've got to work through to where the technology and the processes are actually more about alignment than it is about the numbers. It's about getting the right ones and keeping them engaged through that process and finding those hidden gems that maybe don't have the titles that match, but have the right approaches and skills and persistence and abilities.
I know it's a change for how a lot of people have been doing TA. As a TA professional, to me, that's exciting. Like, that's a challenge that I want to tackle. And I really hope that even when things change, because we know how the market goes, it changes, we
Yeah.
still remain with that. Like, we're really trying to find the best person, not based on what we really think it is, but like looking further, and like thinking outside of the box, to be a little cliche.
Yeah, I think it really is. For some, it seems a little unnerving and a little scary, but I think what it really is a really great opportunity for recruiting and talent acquisition to shine. It's their opportunity to really move into that more strategic approach, and so that's what we're looking for.
Amazing. So this has been a great conversation. And where can listeners connect with you?
Yeah, they can connect with us. Our website is aspect43.com. And they can also connect with me on LinkedIn. And I'm one of the few Tammy Nuts out there. So would love to be able to have them follow me and connect around.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
All right.
All right. I want to give a special shout out to one of our sponsors, Erin. If you guys don't know Erin by now, I don't know what is wrong with you. Okay. You've seen the red shoes at the conferences, but Erin is so much more. It is the number one employee referral platform in the world. In fact, in 2024, they had over 1 million employer referrals processed through that platform. Now, I'm a recruiter. I love recruiting. It's what I've done for the past decade. So I don't like it when I think about things that can take my job. But in all fairness, employer referrals is something which really, really, really help recruitment. So it doesn't replace recruiting. What it does is it helps your recruitment team, especially with really hard to fill positions. Thinking about like nurses, high volume when it comes to manufacturing. These are the types of roles that a lot of times you have to look at your current employees and say, who do you know? Who are people that you would recommend for these roles? So if you haven't checked out if you haven't checked out Erin and you don't have like a standardized employee referral platform that you're using, definitely check them out. They're working with some massive companies. They're doing great work. And if you are looking for a pair of red shoes, we might be able to hook you up. Where can people go to find the red shoes? Look at you do like how I do that? It's like magic. You can get your own red shoes at aaronapp.com/red shoes. And that way, when you go to your favorite conferences, we'll all know you're part of the Red Shoe family. But again, special shout out to Aaron. Go to aaronapp.com to learn more and really optimize that employee referrals, particularly for those tough to fill roles. So thanks so much, Aaron. And we appreciate you guys. What do we have next? Is someone calling in? Hello. Who's
Well,
that?
hello. Hi, Joel.
Tammy, how are you?
I am great, and I'm really excited to be here because I think you're hilarious.
That's good. That's good. Hopefully I
Yeah.
don't disappoint there. I'd love to say that you're the first Tammy we've had on this week, but you're actually the second. So I don't know.
Well, and I was thinking to myself, how cool, Tammy Nutt, and she's bringing in the HR tech, which is my passion. And then you talk about red shoes, and I've got on my gold bling shoes. Hold on, let's see if I can get this.
Uh-oh. Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, these
Okay.
are real. Like these tie in with my shiny objects story that we're going to talk about in a minute. But Yeah, anyway, I probably should introduce myself, but Joel, I just want to say
Yeah.
hey to you and also just say, hey, you say you're 72 in recruiting years, right? You said
Yes.
that
Yes.
before?
Yeah.
Well,
172 now. It's been 2
oh,
weeks. So yeah.
okay. Well, I've survived dial-up, dot matrix printers, and so in HR tech years, I'm about Methuselah's age.
I love it. I love it. Well, yeah. Why don't you give us an introduction for anyone who doesn't know you? Like, who are you? What are you doing? And why today are you on the podcast?
Great questions. Well, first of all, I'm Tammy Castro. I'm so excited to be here. I'm a faith filled HR tech geek, fun loving, sparkle wearing CEO of IMHCM Consulting. I'm also the author of Shiny Objects, which I just found out has become an Amazon bestseller. Look at you, Joel. I love it. Thank you for
Because it's
having
because I
that.
bought it. That's why it became the Amazon bestseller right
That's probably it. They saw it was you on there and said, we definitely need to mark this as a bestseller.
Well, I love it. Well, tell us a little bit about your business. What are some of the pains that you're solving in the marketplace? Like, how are you helping people?
For sure. So I've spent over 30 years helping companies make sense of their HR systems.
Mm.
Because let's face it, especially now with over 20,000 products out there, it's like going to the cereal aisle, right? In the grocery store trying to find your
Yeah, like
cereal.
an insane cereal. 20,000.
Right.
It just blows my
Yeah.
mind.
And then, some of them taste like cardboard and you can't find the one you like, it's stacked behind the back. So we're really trying to help clear out the noise for the HR leaders out there, even the tech leaders, um, because in reality, there's a lot of FOMO. You hear it with AI. There's a lot of FOMO with, are we doing the best we can with our HR technology?
Yeah.
And there's also SOS, and they're not calling for help. SOS is what
Mm.
I call the shiny object syndrome.
Mm.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, oh, that looks nice.
Yeah.
Try that.
Look, as a
Oh,
business owner, I wanna say, like, one of the hardest challenges when you start out is shiny object syndrome. And it's less with technology. I think when you're starting a business, and a lot more to do with just, like, you have ideas, you got a million ideas, and everyone sounds good, right? And so, yeah, I've run into that in a different capacity, but definitely with HR tech, I agree.
yeah. So let me give you two numbers, and we're gonna play a game, Joel. You ready?
I'm
It's
always ready.
it's either Jeopardy or trivia. You pick how you're gonna answer this. So the
Alright.
first number is $2.4 trillion. What would that align with?
The
Hmm,
amount of money that is lost to employee turnover.
possibly, but that's not the one I was talking
Oh.
about. And it's not tied to a bill that's out there because that's another number. I just thought it was hilarious. It's the same number. $2.4 trillion is what corporate America is losing annually
Oof.
because of bad tech decisions. This just kills me. I'm like an efficiency person, wasting time. I'm the one that will stack everything to try to make one trip from the,
Yep.
garage and back into the house. So I am mortified by this loss. And I don't know that leaders are paying attention to how much money is being thrown out the window. The other number is 42%. What do you think that ties to, Joel?
The amount of people who hate their current tech.
That's probably higher, actually.
I know, I was gonna say, actually, that's
I have
99%.
Yeah, I mean, I have not met many people that are like, I love everything we're using. And mind you, it's typically not going to be one system. But
Yeah.
the 42% is the number given to the amount of failed tech implementations because
Wow.
employees didn't adopt. And it hurts my heart. I'm kind of emotional about what I do because I love it so much. I'm like the geek of HR tech, kind of like you're the geek of recruiting, right? It's a passion we have. I've been doing this for over 30 years. I've seen the cycles of time, and I talk about it in my book. You know, I actually give a lesson on the HR history and then HR tech history. I don't know if you hit that chapter yet. For my mom, it was a yawner, but you know what? You got to give some
I
education.
love
I
that
mean,
honesty. I love that mom's being honest like that, you know? She's like,
I
"I don't."
know, I know.
That was
So
the worst chapter for me. I love that.
well, people are like, yeah, I kind of got lost in that one, but I try to keep it fun, and I have what I call the confession corners, And I don't know if you've gotten into those yet, but I am basically a confessor of maybe some things that happen in my life that might amuse people or possibly embarrass me. But so I try to keep it light. But one of the things that I want to point out is we've got a great example, for instance, of one client of ours where they were so, shiny object syndrome. They were already seeing demos and they contacted us and we said, okay, wait a second. You're already seeing demos. Do you even know what's wrong with your current system? They were jumping the gun. And that's what I call shiny object, right? They want to, let's just go look at the pretty stuff and do the fun stuff, but they really need to back up, right? And our hope, our desire as an organization is to say, hey, let us help you. We'll come alongside you and help you on this HR tech roadmap because we can be an advocate consultant, which I think every company needs. Let's face it, what is lacking in corporate America right now? Big time. Got that answer,
Oh,
Joel?
I
I'm
mean,
testing you.
there's a never-ending list in my mind of things. I think,
Trust,
trust,
trust, right?
clarity, transparency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust is
There's
definitely
very
up there on the list. I'd say, like, the trust is the root issue for a lot of the problems we see, for sure.
Right. And I honestly, it's a two-way street because I'm considered a vendor, of course. And so gaining the trust of our clients is what we consider the highest value of something we can acquire. Um, but we also have situations where we can't always trust our clients. So finding that perfect match of who is really going to come to the table and be transparent and real, because we're more about relationships than we are about, making a pretty roadmap. Now maps are needed. And for some reason, a lot of the leaders want to run without a map. So we're
Mm,
trying to say, let's back up and give you a roadmap so you have clarity and you can have confidence in the fact that you will not fall into the 42% tech wreck mess, right? We don't want you to fall in that or throwing money out the window. So in this particular client, we went in there and they were looking at stuff and we said, listen, let's back up. Guess what? We saved them probably $1 million. And I'm not even exaggerating because they were ready to go into finding a product and implementing. And we said, can we just work with you, show you how to use what you have now? Let's see if this is salvageable. And it turns out they just needed some tinkering and some adjustments and to learn how to get help from the vendor and things like that for the product, for the software. So that was a huge success. And it wasn't like a big winner for us as far as profit, but we are willing to make, and this is where I think trust comes in. We would rather make the wise decisions and guide you in the ways to do things that are going to save you. We aren't trying to get into this to dig deep and, you know, make you spend a lot of money, I guess is the point.
yeah.
So the other thing we bring that I think is terribly missing, Joel, is the fun. Hello, people. Do
Wait,
we have
HR
to
tech can
be
be
so
fun?
serious?
HR tech can be fun?
I know. Do we have to be so serious? It just kills me. That's one of the reasons I was so excited to join you today because you are fun and I appreciate that. And I think we need to bring that into our workplace, people. We don't have to be so serious. So in my book, I talk
No.
about that a lot as well.
Yeah, so let's talk about the book for a second here. I know we are short of time as always. It always happens in my segments. Like I'm always running short of time. But tell me about the book. Like what inspired it, and what do you want people to get out of it, and why should people go pick up the book today?
Well, I took a different spin on this. I'm a woman of faith, and it has guided my entire career. So, me and Jesus. So, I like to say HR tech meets Jesus. So,
Jesus
in
knows a
the
couple things about people. I think I don't know.
exactly, he's like this incredible relationship guy. So, I'm like, hey, if what I like to say, don't forget, Jesus built a team with zero
Hmm.
budget, wild personalities, and he still managed to change the world.
Hmm.
And that's leadership. It's when we hone into the people we have. So the book, it I guess you could say it's somewhat of a memoir of my story of leading people with faith as my background. So I look through a biblical lens of some of the principles and even saying, hey, Jesus didn't need a dashboard for this, so how can we, the fact that we have a dashboard, how can we still use it so that we're elevating the human experience and not falling in love with the technology? So it's really kind of a realigning, resetting our thinking. And my hope and prayer is really that people will give it a chance and come to the invitation that I'm giving them to come to the table and look through a different lens because there's so much wisdom, so much wisdom that Jesus brought to the table. And that's what I'm bringing into HR tech.
I love that. I love it. Well, look, I would obviously an Amazon bestseller, which is huge. So
I'm so
go pick
excited.
up Shiny Objects. I'm getting through it. It's cool to have a different perspective for sure. Where can people connect with you?
Hey, if you want to connect with me, there's a few different ways. LinkedIn, of course, and it's an easy one.
I've
Tammy
never
on
heard of that
LinkedIn.
place. I've never heard of that. What is it?
Yeah.
LinkedIn?
By the way, will you please accept my connection request? I made a note of this to tell you. Please accept
Yeah,
my.
we'll see. We'll see
Um,
after this. I don't
we'll
know.
see if it's worth it.
All right.
I
So
got you.
I'm sorry, I cut you
Tammy,
off right as you were going to tell us where we could find you. Sorry.
sure. Tammy on LinkedIn. I
Cool.
made it easy. You can also, and it's Tammy, unlike Tammy Nutt, which I saw was Tami. And we've got our website, imhcmconsulting.com. And
Love
I
it.
have a website, tammycastro.com. You can get in touch with us any of those ways. If there's any way we can serve and help you or join with a team of people that are looking to make a difference, we are in. That's
I,
how we
lo-
operate.
I love it. And I've also learned that if you want to be an HR tech, you just got to be called Tammy. So it's great. That's what I've learned today. So now, Tammy Castro, thank you so much. Excited to have a copy of your book and learn from you, and excited to connect with you more. And guys, get in the chat. Let us know
Thanks,
what you
Joel.
think, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, Tammy.
Thanks, Joel.
All right,
Appreciate
bye.
it. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Good morning, beautiful HR people. On today's weather, it's time we talk about one of HR's most beloved rituals, the employee engagement survey. Here's my hot take on them. They suck. We send them out once a year, probably ask a few vague questions, and then we sit on the results. For really good companies, maybe we show a dashboard and promise change. But for many employees, absolutely nothing changes. This is exactly the time when the real damage happens, because now we have raised expectations, probably not going to deliver. And of course, after that, engagement drops. And I would say trust in leadership takes a pretty brutal hit as well. So here's the thing. People don't want surveys. They want real action. They want managers trained to lead with better communication and a sense that their feedback actually means something. So what's the forecast here? Traditional surveys are fading. They're going to fade out completely, probably not exist in the future. Real-time feedback tools are the next wave. The new model is continuous listening and actually doing something with the data. Pretty novel concept. So let's stop obsessing over response rates and start building workplace where people feel heard without needing to fill out the dreaded 40-question form once a year. That's your HR weather update, where we're tracking more transparency and fewer survey gimmicks on the horizon. James and Rhona, what's your take here?
Why do you only ask you guys?
I know.
He knows. He knows.
I mean, I fully agree. Like we've lost trust because we never do anything with the results. It's like, how many times have you worked at a company where they hound you literally to take the survey, and it's like, take it, take it, take it. First of all, people don't really trust that it's actually anonymous because they can tell when you haven't done it. And yes, I know it's totally anonymous, but I'm talking from most employees who aren't seeing the behind the scenes. So that's one thing. And then, I mean, if you're on a small team, people know what
They know.
everyone else is saying, type of thing.
Totally.
And then, yes, you have this, everyone does the survey, great. They talk about it, they do a beautiful presentation about what happened in the survey, and like, that's it. You don't hear about anything until next year when they want you to take the survey again. So of course, I agree with what Serge is saying. It's not an unpopular opinion. It's a very popular opinion in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the survey was taken just by CHROs. That's where the unpopular part of it comes from. Look, I've been in rooms watching C-suiters There is no more powerful force than self-delusion, where they're watching the C-suiters try to contort themselves into knots, trying to explain why the data that is crystal clear, oh, gosh, the question was worded in such a way that maybe they weren't talking about us. Like they said leaders, that could have been us, that could have been their bosses. Maybe we don't have to take this into account. Maybe this isn't about us. Maybe we don't actually have to do anything. And that is what's really killing the surveys. Surveys are a powerful tool. They can be incredibly useful to tap into what's really going on. But the way companies use it, they use it as a shield and not as a tool. And that is really what's wrong.
It's what's hilarious about this is there is a LinkedIn article right now that says JP Morgan RTO mandate hurt morale. And this is according to a survey that they've done. And Jamie Dimon's response is, "We know the return full-time to office has been an adjustment that one that not everyone agrees with.
Yeah.
But we continue to believe in person is how we do our best work." Ladies and gentlemen, the proof right there. What do you guys think?
Thumb our nose at the data because, we're just a data company. We're just a financial institution. All we do is numbers all day. But, in this case, it makes us uncomfortable. It makes us tell us what we don't want to do. Ignore it.
It's so funny because it's like there's certain things where like I don't understand like the exercise of it, right? It's like, why are we doing this? And it's like,
It's kabuki theater. It's kabuki theater. You're trying to put a play on for staff to say, we're listening, and then you're ignoring everything you hear because you're hoping that by the time people realize that it's been a month or 2 months since they've seen the survey, maybe they will have forgotten it. And then the best part is every time they come to a decision that's complicated, they go, well, we should ask the staff. Why bother? Why are we bothering?
Yeah. Well, it's like the old what was the old one they used to do before you had surveys? It was like the customer or the employee suggestion box.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you put it in there. It's like, well, like
I suggest
you don't care about it. And these are the types of things where I'm like, I just wish there was like just transparency of like I'd actually be happier if like leadership teams were like, come join us. We don't care about you.
Yeah.
Like there's part of me which is like I'd probably just respect him for telling the truth.
Here's the thing. Look, leadership's job is to set a direction. This is literally what a CEO's job is to set direction for the company and say, we're doing this and this is why. And when they have the direction, then they establish a strategy. This is how we're going to do that. And the culture supports the strategy. Look, if people don't want to get involved in the strategy, they should leave. They should not be part of that. But it's this game of we're not going to communicate the strategy, and half the time we don't actually have a strategy. Let's be perfectly blunt. And then we're going to, we just want lots of good people to show up. It's a disconnect on a business level, and they're using the survey as the fig leaf to say, we asked, but they didn't give us good responses, or the data was inconclusive, or we're not sure, we're going to investigate further, or we formed a blue ribbon committee. It's all kabuki theater.
Dude, it's like this is hilarious. I'm loving the glasses too, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
I think there was something special about that moment.
a
Just
little purple acorn action. I just thought, I'd bring the fire. I am available for children's parties. But go ahead.
I'm bucking you, man. I got.
Absolutely.
We all know I got lots of kids. So,
you got 7.
So yeah, I look. Unpopular opinion. I think we all agree it's a popular opinion for us mere employees. Any leaders listening out there, like if you're gonna do a survey with us and you don't do anything about what we actually say, just don't do the survey. Save some time. I'll have AI complete the survey next time.
Yeah.
But this has been another great session. Serge, we miss you in real life, my man. We like those recordings, but we like you too. So, Serge, hopefully you'll be back with us. And guys, I think that was another good session with the weather report. So thanks, Serge.
At Humoriso, we're not just another HR consultancy. We're a team of dedicated experts wanting to bring your business forward. Our Humoriso Technology Solutions, HTS, are a different kind of HR tech. Give real-time insights without overwhelming managers with too much data. So whether you're a growing startup, an established company, our human resources outsource support, payroll management are all there to help drive your business forward. So check us out and see what Humoriso could do for you today.
Hey, Noah, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me this morning.
the two of us and John Baldino in the previous segment, it could be sponsored by Gillette. I'm just putting that out there, folks. It's for us. Noah, thanks so much for being here. You are going to talk. We're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is emotions in work, and more specifically, the untapped emotion of. And this is going to feel weird to say it in an HR context. Love. Noah, set us up. Why is this an important conversation? Why are you so interested in this subject?
Well, I'll tell you, I had my whole canned speech prepared, but I've been listening to your other guests today, and there's so much alignment here. I'm going to start with James, who just talked about disconnect on a business level. Love is a way for people to connect with each other in a meaningful way. And I'm not talking about the rom-com, fall in love with your best friend kind of love. I'm talking about this deeper understanding of love, which I discovered almost 3 years ago now, that the ancient Greeks understood. The ancient Greeks had at least 6 different words for love, because love is a complicated thing. We throw the word away saying, I love Snickers or I love nachos or whatever. And then it's difficult for us sometimes to say in the most important moments. And I think one of the reasons for that is because love is not one thing. The way that we love our partners is different than the way we love our parents or our children or our best friend or our pet or our favorite sports team, right? These are all different emotions that we bucket under the word love. And what's fascinating about it is that our bodies actually know the difference. When we're in love, we're releasing a set of neurochemicals like dopamine and adrenaline. And when a parent holds their child, they're releasing oxytocin, right? They're different chemicals happening within the body for different forms of love. So I'm going to use the word love because it's the word we understand, but this is not the type of love that you HR professionals get all uppity about when it happens in the workplace. This is a different kind of love where you can tap into passion and commitment and trust and loyalty and honor and deep bonds of friendship. So yeah, it's a fascinating topic for me. I've been in a deep dive over the last few years, been working with a number of companies on bringing a deeper understanding of love into the culture. And it's producing remarkable results.
Yeah, and look, I'm the same boat. I mean, I happen to know, because I have this much Greek knowledge, agape is that sense of unconditional love, one of the 6 kinds of loves, and I think that's one flavor of it. There's so much to untap and unpack in this space. People go to work not because they want to feel drudged. They want to feel, beholden. They want to slog through the day. They need to get that 5th cup of coffee to survive. They want this thing. They want to feel like their work has meaning. They want to connect the dot. And I think love is a wonderful way of connecting those dots, to really find a way of saying, look, the time, the effort, the passion you bring to everything from answering the phone to presenting to a conference, it should stem from love, and people will see that. So
yeah, I absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please. This is your show. We're here to talk to you. I'm not the subject expert here.
There's a great quote that I heard that compensation gets compliance, right? When you pay somebody, it's an extrinsic reward for certain behavior. But when everybody, the employers and employees, want to feel something deeper. They want a commitment. They want to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves, which is a form of love. It's the agape you mentioned, and Tammy was talking about her belief in her religious beliefs and the teachings. She referenced teachings of Jesus, which were all rooted in love, this deep bond. And it's a way leaders can motivate a team with, frankly, very little effort and very little money, by creating this emotional connection. And I tuned in when Joel and Ullman were talking about how work is changing. I think this is the moment for us to double down and dive into what makes us human. With technology coming and AI here, we're finding these tools that are jobs that humans were taught and trained to do up through the industrial age. But now we're in a different world. We're never going to perform or outperform machines at certain tasks. So what we need to do as humans and people in the HR field is really tap into our humanity. And there's nothing more human than love.
Oops. Sounds like we have a technical issue on on Noah's side. So we're gonna up. There we go. Noah's back.
Yeah, sorry, I don't
Okay,
know
no
where I
worries.
lost it.
Hey, you were good. We yelled just for like 5 seconds.
Okay.
So here,
Well, what I
let me set you back up. So I find it fascinating that here we are talking about Jesus, checking my watch, 2,000 years old. We're talking about the ancient Greeks, checking my watch, a few centuries more than that, and they are now current topics. So I guess the question is, in a weird, ironic way, why are these incredibly old ideas so incredibly relevant right now?
Yeah, I think now is the moment because we're entering a time in our human evolution where technology is reaching a point where it's able to replicate some human tasks. So we've got technology that is doing content creation, it's doing writing, it's doing analytics. So what's the role for people? And the role for people is to really dive into our humanity and what makes us human and create those emotional bonds and connections and meaning and I'll use the word devotion and commitment to uh, uh, contributing things in our lives that have meaning and that are greater than ourselves. And I think everybody wants that. You wake up in the morning and you're like, I want to do something today that has an impact. And it's sometimes it's hard to do in a work environment where it's designed to be very mechanical.
Yeah, not a lot of love in those Monday morning all hands calls, all those all hands staff meetings. Oh, we're losing Noah again. This is fun exercise for me to vamp. Well, I hope that Noah fires. Noah, you lost you for 5 seconds again. Give
Yeah,
that
sorry
router
about
the
that.
elbow. Give the router the elbow. Let it
I,
know who's boss. All right. So who is this for? This isn't just a, hey, everybody, I think we should all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, I suspect. This is something targeted, specific for an audience, given where you are and who we're talking to here. Who should be kind of considering this?
Yeah, this is applicable for anybody that has any influence over culture in their organization. So it's certainly for the C-suite. It's absolutely for HR professionals. It's for team leaders, right? Ways to motivate and align your team. Alignment is a key issue here. Get everybody pulling in the same direction. So the work that I've been doing has been focused on leadership teams in the C-suite and ways to appropriately incorporate love in a professional way into the corporate culture.
Yeah. I want to point out that previously you said this word devotion, which I think is fascinating in that, before the Industrial Revolution, people became monks to devote their lives to studying and farming and to doing a thing to grow the food for their families, to kind of consider bigger ideas. And isn't that what work really is that collective devotion to a core idea so that we can achieve more together than we ever could individually? And if that's true, why aren't we talking about words like that? Why is that? I guess the question is, why is a word like love or devotion so scary in these circumstances?
Well, I think love is scary because it's undefined, right? It's this people don't understand what the word means. When you say we want you to love our customers, you want me to take them on a date? Like, what do you mean love the customers, right? No, you want to build trust. You want to build an ease in the relationship. You want to have some joy in the relationship. Anything that you would have in a healthy relationship with a best friend or a family member or a lover, without the romantic piece is what we really want. And you're absolutely right, James. The idea that when people come to work in an organization, the beauty of that is that everybody is focused on a similar goal,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there are little things that are out of alignment often that causes friction and makes things harder to do than they should. But if everybody can reset and change their uh, uh, perception of what we are trying to do as an organization, it helps shape a perspective that everybody is working towards the same thing. And you get more by supporting each other and loving each other and working together than you do with the infighting and the friction and the siloing that we see so often in organizations.
Yeah. Well, that sounds great, but is there like a natural starting point that most organizations could kind of launch from, or is it just kind of everybody's got to figure it out for themselves?
Yeah, no, it's surprisingly easy if the leadership team can find a way to normalize emotion at work and really embrace this fact that we are all human and we all have emotions, and that's actually okay. Let's work with those emotions to make everybody more productive. So we start with values, right? We start values plus behavior is culture. So we take a good look at the values of the organization. We make sure that they're right. A lot of people put values, on a piece of paper and they end up on the wall, and nobody actually follows them, right?
You put them on the
So
you put them
I
on the
think one
poster
of the
so you
reasons,
don't have to think about them ever again. Trust me,
right,
we've all
no,
seen those companies.
the values have to be lived. So we take a look at the values, we make sure that they're right, we make sure that they're understood for the organization, and then we ask some hard questions of the leadership team. Say, when is your behavior reflecting these values? Because you're the model. You can put whatever you want on the wall, but how the leadership team behaves is how the rest of the organizations can behave. And if the leadership team gets comfortable embracing love, embracing difficult conversations, making each other and the organization feel safe so people can really share how they feel, it's a transformative experience for any organization, large or small.
So, okay, this is all well and good. But as a business owner, as a business leader, my first question is going to be, what are the outcomes? This all sounds really, really nice and wonderful and friendly and happy and all that good stuff. How do you tie this to business outcomes? How do you say the embracing of this concept of love at business actually leads to better companies, better business, better outcomes?
Yeah, I'm just going to use some of the things that Tammy with an I said earlier. She was talking about challenges with salary. Well, if people love what they do, the salary may not be exactly what they want, but they make concessions in compensation because their environment is so rewarding. You're looking to attract the top candidates. Candidates want to work in a place where they're going to feel safe. They're going to feel like they can do the best work. They're going to be embraced. She mentioned retention. If people love their work, they're going to stick around. Productivity, embracing positive emotions, recognizing them, and aligning to them increases productivity because it reduces friction, right? People tend to help each other out rather than stand on each other's shoulders. Performance as an organization goes up. Individual performance goes up. Team performance goes up. Organizational performance goes up. Increasing sales, she mentioned, is kind of the number one of the top things. Cost savings and increasing sales. So when you have when you are talking to a current customer or prospect, and you are so passionate about the organization that you work for, and it's truly heartfelt, and there's a connection that you're comfortable building with a prospect, we all know that is how sales happen, right? We also know that marketing, and I didn't get into my whole background here, but I've spent most of my career as a marketer, and a marketer's job is behavior change at scale, right? Typically by triggering emotions in people, and there's no more powerful emotion than love to get people to align to a certain type of behavior. And then the last thing Tammy said, she talked about efficiency and value. So I addressed the efficiency by reducing friction, and of course, when there's higher efficiency, you've got better retention, you're not facing turnover, you're grabbing more sales, you're doing greater depth of sales with your existing customer base. You create incredible lifetime value for your employees and your customers. I don't mean to oversimplify it, but the Beatles, did say it. Like love is all we need. Love is the answer. It's just very, very hard for modern. I lost you again. Yep,
Nope.
You back? Good.
We're all good.
It's just very, very hard for modern organizations to embrace because it feels scary and it feels vulnerable. But once you're engaged in this exercise and it becomes normalized, it feels wonderful, frankly.
Yeah. Well, no, you get bonus points. One, for talking about previous guests, and two, for bringing up the Beatles without endangering us in an intellectual property concern in any other way. So we appreciate that. Noah, before we let you go, where can people find you if this is an interesting topic of conversation? They want to engage with you. They want to learn more. Where should they find you?
Yeah, LinkedIn is the best place to reach me, and I've actually broke down each of the different forms of the Greek understanding of love into some articles I wrote on LinkedIn. So we can look at agape, we can look at self-love, we can look at brotherly love, familial love. and how they apply to business. And I've actually cited different business examples that are really clear on how they embraced these forms of love. Not calling it love, by the way, they called it all sorts of different things, but it is all love. And it's one of my favorite topics to talk about, and I'd be happy to connect with your audience anytime.
Thanks, Noah. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you hanging out with us. And I know we ran a little late, but I appreciate you hanging into the end there.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for your time, and thank you for the conversation.
Of course. Joel, you're muted.
I love that.
There you go. What, being muted? You love being muted? That would surprise a lot of your fans.
It was funnier when I hadn't muted myself.
Well.
So. Anyway, well, look, we are. I think Evan he nailed it. This James guy is profound.
Drunk.
Yeah.
It's really early to be drunk, Evan. Come on, I know where you live. I mean, come on, it's pretty out there, but there's no need for the tequila this fast.
You're an oracle of wisdom. Okay, we're just gonna say that.
All right.
No, but seriously, James, it has been great having you on the show today. Really appreciated just the energy and the insights that you brought, and always great to have you. Hopefully, you'll be on again sometime in the future.
I hear that is the rumor, so yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Yep, we're excited for that as well. We're also excited to have hopefully some other guest hosts as well that can.
Why? Rhona's great. Why would you ever replace Rhona?
Why would you replace me? I just said that could replace me.
No, I'm ignoring that because you're never going anywhere. You're never leaving.
What do you mean? Yeah, Rhona. No,
I said, you're never leaving. This is like you're going to be on the show.
Otherwise, how are you going to amortize?
Change it to the Joel show.
Yeah, I mean, how else are you going to amortize the cost of the neon sign behind you? I mean, that was not a small investment. You got to. I mean, from the tax purposes, you've got to kind of spread this out. Come on, you're not new here. Someone should hit a button and end this because we could do this all day.
Well, look at this. Like, we're getting these prompts. If you want to be a new guest host, if you want to replace me, please do.
As a host, not in general.
PurpleAcorn.com /replace Joel.
That's a /.
Yeah, it's a really easy application process. You just have to be able to talk and have a camera. It's amazing. But Rhona,
microphone is optional. I like that idea.
Yeah, microphone is optional. You don't need to have a microphone. But Rhona, it's always good to be with you as well. I'm because how many weeks have you been on been hosting on a show now? Is this 2 weeks in a row?
Second week in a row. Yeah, it's been fun. I love guest hosting here.
It is fun. And why don't you tell us quickly? You've got a podcast and you've got another live show as well that you're involved in. What? I feel like you're everywhere now.
Yes. So I'm every Monday on the Alder Hour, one of Purple Acorn's shows. It's amazing. Yeah. We have a ton of fun and we get to drink on the show, even though we hardly ever drink actual alcohol. We get to if we want to. And we talk about HR news. So it's really cool. And I also host the Workfluencer podcast where I talk to people in our space and just anyone who talks about work online and creates content. So cool.
I just want to say too, if you don't follow Rhona, you need to. The elevation. I just want to say, like, seeing like your content progress and like what you're doing, it's super inspiring. And like, I just love the production, love what you talk about, how you do it, taking things to a different level, particularly with the video content, which is huge. We need more of that. So you're absolutely crushing it. James, you're doing okay. Just kidding.
I'm new. I've never done this before. What's a microphone do?
It was in the perfect spot, so it's all good. Well, guys, look, I appreciate both of you. We will we'll hopefully see you both in the future. I know we will, and everyone in the chat. We had a really lively chat as well. We had Brian in there, James, Amanda, Evan, Heather. Great to see you, and if you're listening to this after the fact. Thank you so much for tuning in. We wouldn't be here without you guys. If you are interested in any of other shows, go to purpleacorn.com. Check out our other shows. Check out our live shows. And we will be back next week with another episode of Purple Acorn Morning Show. And once again, special shout out to one and only Aaron. We really appreciate you guys. Check out the platform. We'll do it. AaronApp.com. See you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.